was literally throwing up blood. I would have died.
Wow.
It got to a point I couldn't talk, I couldn't do anything, and I just had to submit to taking these pills every day because I was forced to. I would be physically, mentally abused if I didn't. Wait, give me a second.
Okay, breathe. Ooh. Ooh.
Okay.
Let's get it. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Maikon show, the coolest show in the whole wild world. Shout out to the sponsors, Verity Esports, the coolest esports team in the whole wild world. Today with me, I have somebody who's a business owner, model, entrepreneur, and she's many, many, many more things. She has a story to tell, and I can't wait for you guys to hear it. Without further ado, my guest, Breana Powers.
Thank you. That was such a great introduction.
Yeah, dude. How you been?
Fine. How about you?
Vibing. You know, this is a really nice place you have here.
Thank you.
This your new salon, right?
Yeah.
How's that been?
Pretty good. I actually started somewhere else first. I opened up, did my whole grand opening somewhere else. And then shortly after is when I had to start all over again. I'm still in my first year of business, but you try, you fail, you try, you fail. And the only true failure is if you stop trying, right?
True. Facts. You got a story about that, actually. I don't know if you want to go into details, but what happened?
Well, long story short, did business with someone who I didn't really know that well. We weren't friends. We just both had a passion for brows and both had a vision to start a salon together, and it didn't work out. And in that amount of time, I found that the only person I really needed was myself.
Ooh. Mic drop.
Everything all happened for a reason. It all brought me to the better position that I am in now, But ultimately, it was pretty energy draining, the whole situation, losing everything and then having to start all over. Next time I would just say I need to do my research on someone. Don't just jump into business or jump into better friendship or relationship with somebody that you don't know that well.
Yeah, no, that's a big rule in my life. I always give people 1 year. It's like a test run. If I see the slightest, smallest problem, cut. Just because I know that trickles down. And then it turns into something that I don't want to deal with.
I knew it was a huge risk. I just didn't imagine it blowing up in my face in those ways,
Because it did blow up like crazy. So.
It did blow up like crazy, but I couldn't imagine it getting to that point.
Yeah. Betrayal is a very hard thing to go through.
That wasn't my first time losing everything. 5 years ago, I got robbed $50,000.
$50,000?
Yes.
How did that
happen? By a really good friend of mine. When I was 18, I used to work for Utah Party Girl agency. We would do big mansion parties up in Park City, and we would just get paid to party. I was like, heck yeah, I'm going to go party with Michael Jordan and get paid 10 grand to party in his pool, you know? Yeah. And I got him a job doing security. He got paid really, really, really well. And I stuck my neck out for him. And he turned to drugs. He got addicted. I really helped him out like a homie, like a brother, someone I knew in the system that I wanted to help make it in life, Yeah. And I gave him everything I could. And I feel like that kind of was the ultimate betrayal, maybe.
Yeah, that's true. $50,000, that's a lot of money.
I've had multiple other people betray me too, not just him. Some would say my mom's suicide could be a betrayal, or my dad's suicide could be a betrayal. My family leaving me in the foster system, allowing me to grow up in the foster system could all be considered betrayals. But I think that they're all life lessons that we all have to go through. Ultimately, I have a strong belief that we all choose this life before we come here.
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
We all choose our own struggles, the battles that we know that are going to be the most difficult for us. And it's a challenge for us to work through and get through. It's in my genes to give up.
Why do you say that?
Well, I have a mom and a dad who, they gave up at life. That's the ultimate give up,
Yeah, that's true. As kids, we look up to our parents. We get inspired by them. But, that happening to you with that situation, that's really hard because who do you turn to?
It's a really sad thing, but I can't imagine what was going through her head. I didn't live her life. I know her life was hard, and I know she loved me, and I know I loved her. My dad also didn't have the best upbringing either, and neither did I. I think I had it way worse than both of them, put together, Yeah. And it's are we going to keep going through life, bringing up our past as an excuse as not to succeed in life? Or are we just going to learn from it? Yes, we all have emotions. We all have things we go through. But we also have the option to wake up every morning and start the day fresh again.
Yes. We always put excuses when it's just moving forward. You have to move forward. You have to wake up tomorrow. You always have an opportunity to just get better. There's nothing else to do but just move forward. When did you go into the foster system?
I lived with my grandma from age of 6 to about 12. I was passed around through like second cousins, some cousins. My grandma was really too old. The state evaluated her and she was too old to like understand how to take care of me properly, I guess.
Oh, okay.
That's kind of what I was told when I was younger. So I was about 12 when I went into a group home for girls.
That's hard, dude. At 12 years old, that's when everything starts.
I was in that group home for a few years. After that, graduated the program. That's when I went into the system. I was unable to get adopted at a point because I was too old and I aged out of the system.
That's hard, dude.
After I graduated.
So moving forward, nowadays, how are you doing mentally?
I feel like my mental health today is the best it's ever been in my life. But that's also because I take every single day of my life and I dedicate it to making that day the most healthiest day of my life. I understand that we all make mistakes, but I don't let it affect me in the long run. I don't sit and dwell on it. Sometimes it takes a few days to get out of bed. Sometimes it's going to take a few tries. Sometimes you're going to wake up, it's going to be 2 p.m. and it's going to be like, dang it, I'll try again tomorrow, you know? True. Sometimes you just need those days and that's okay. You need to take that time to rest because resting is also very important. Yeah. As much as it's important to get up and grind and wake up at 5 o'clock every morning and stay up working all night long, it's important that you take time to yourself and you get rest as well. I've always had therapists ever since I was 8 years old.
That's a good thing. That's a very good thing.
You say that.
Because I've never had one.
Because you never had one.
Okay, so what's your take on that?
If you went through something, I think it was good that my grandma got me help when I was little because my mom died. I had gone through so much. I clearly was different. I got tested by many, many, many different doctors, the top doctors, over and over again, and re-diagnosed for bipolar and ADHD at 8 and anxiety. And of course, depression is going to come with both of those. But also, as I got older, I realized that ADHD is really all those things.
Yeah. It's crammed together.
Mood swings come with ADHD. You don't have to be bipolar to switch your moods really quickly.
I feel like sometimes it's a natural thing. It's
humans. A natural thing. You have the ability to control your mood. One little thing can set you off or trigger you, but it's also grabbing your chair, taking a deep breath and remembering where you are and the present moment, just being aware of what's happening and what you're doing and what's going through your mind and taking a step back and thinking before you speak.
Yes. Learn the difference between speaking your mind and not thinking before you speak. Sometimes you just want to say something, but the people who don't even think about it before they even say it are the ones that end up saying some dumb shit. You said you got diagnosed at 8 years old.
Yeah.
I come from El Salvador. We were poor and we never had money to get checked or see what was going on with me. I always knew I was different, but I've never known what I have. For you, at such a young age, somebody labeled you. Somebody said, this is what you are. Do you think that had a negative effect on you? Because that becomes you. Humans, we tend to defend who we are.
Kids who are normally diagnosed at a young age, it's usually their parents that are just what's going on with my kid? I don't understand. And my sweet grandma, she was looking for an explanation of why I was the way I was. She just wanted the label. She wanted to know what it was. And I think it could be really useful if you get it diagnosed, not the cheap help, really expensive help, not the state help. That's what my grandma did. And you educate yourself first and you educate your child and you do everything you can to fully understand what type it is, because there's many types, how severe it is, and you full on educate yourself and you're willing to do that and to fill your brain and take that time and know what that really is. And make sure that your child fully understands what that is and say that that's okay and love your child and help them get through it, then I feel like it could really make a difference. But if you're going to just label your child and not do anything about it, not educate them, not tell them and just be oh yeah, well you have ADHD and you're different and you're this and you're that, then no, I don't think it's very helpful. if you're going to just say you're this way, then you should just love them as that way.
Yeah.
You don't need the labels. You don't need the explanation, the reasoning, the educating as to why they are the way they are, you know? And you should just love them that way.
We're talking about family. One of the greatest things is to have a strong family. If your own family doesn't even support you with who you are, then what the hell do you have?
Yeah.
You know, and it's really hard to even find friends that you trust that much.
Oh, trust me, I know.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people find me vulnerable or easy to target. It's been like that throughout my life. You know, when I was in the system, my first group home, this leader took over and she opened a bunch of credit cards in our names. And
What?
our credits are all messed up.
Oh my God.
She opened a bunch of credit cards and she went to jail. But underneath all that, she abused us. She came in and started violating our rights. She wanted to take power. She wanted to take control. She wanted to control everyone there, all the staff, all the little girls. And, you know, I don't stand for that type of stuff. The leader before, her name was Liz Howard. She was a really nice lady and she really cared about us. And she would spend her own money on us to just buy us little things at McDonald's, 16 of us, you know, to make our day, you know? And she really cared. And sometimes we were little crap heads, you know, like we had rules, like we weren't allowed to touch each other. Like sometimes we would just act out in ways like we just wanted to run in the rain and get dirty and wrestle each other.
You're young. Like that's what it's supposed to be about.
You know, and sometimes we had those nights. But on other days, like when we weren't so bad, like we were also more willing to be good and like follow the rules.
That's a human though.
Yeah, that's a human, right? But like
we're not robots. We're not supposed to just do one thing.
There's just so many things about this program, like I could just say are just so wrong and they're still open today.
Oh wow.
And this is like one of like the most frustrating things to me, honestly, because there's a rule that you had to ask to walk down the hall. Some of us would forget. We're so busy, ADHD, right? We're trying to get all these 18 chores done and we're just trying to clean the bathroom and walk back and forth. And sometimes we forget, right? But she told the staff that if we forgot to ask to walk down the hall, that they were allowed to restrain us and put their bodies on us and take us down, and that it was for their safety, like the staff members' safety, because we forgot to ask to walk down the hall.
So weird.
And if they don't know where we're at all times, then their safety is at risk. So they were allowed to take us down and do whatever they wanted to us with their bodies on us in this girls' group home. And keep you in mind, they're male staff in this group home, like 22, 23, 21, all the way up to like 50s in this group home, right? And some of them are in charge of everything. Anyways, I had a sheet that said that they couldn't do that they can't use forced restraint on us for things like that. And I showed it to her. And I showed it to her in front of all the staff. And I was like, you can't do this to us. You're violating our rights. And we had room searches and all of our rights were gone. And I was, through time, put on 20 to 25 different pills. There was a point in time where I would have a stutter and I couldn't talk. There was a point in time where I would throw up every single day. Sometimes I would have blood in my throw up. There would be rumors that I was like pregnant. I started calling the cops because I knew something was very wrong with me. There was times in the day like where I would go blind. My feet were swollen. When I'd get to the top of the stairs, I would feel like I was falling backwards and I'd have to jump. Like it got to the point where I literally started to feel like worms were crawling inside of my head.
Wow.
Like I knew something was wrong with me. I felt like every time I would put my blanket over me at night, I would feel like worms were crawling in and out of my blanket inside my body. Like it was insane. So I went to the hospital from the school and then they would say, oh, it's her meds. Like there's no worms in her head, obviously. Like her meds need to be changed. She's on too many meds. They need to talk to somebody who has her on all these meds and take her off of them because they are killing her, literally. I would go back and they would be like, well, we can't just take her off these meds. You have to go through all these things to get it approved and go through the boss. And then it would get back to the boss. And then Amber, the boss, right? She told them not to allow me to go to the hospital anymore because it was all fake, that it was all a lie, that I was perfectly fine and I was just making it up. And I was just a manipulative little liar, right? My teachers knew that that was not true because they had known me. They knew me. They were like, no, we know Bree and she would not lie. This is just ridiculous. Like we see her physically throwing up blood. Like we see this and this is not a lie. Like, so they called her and she came to the high school and would stare in my face and tell me that I was a manipulative little liar. I wasn't throwing up blood and that I was just faking it because I wanted attention.
It's hard for you to even explain what's going on to you when you're a kid. So they just make assumptions like, oh, that's what's going on.
And I didn't even realize that I had this trauma until honestly recently, like 4 or 5 months ago is when I remembered this. And my best friend, Niley, she showed me this video of this inmate officer in jail just screaming at this 22-year-old inmate. She had stolen something from Walmart, like less than $10. She had been writing in her journal that she felt that she was being drugged by this staff, by the guard. The video shows the guard literally saying, "You're gonna die," like in her face as she's throwing up. And in that moment, I broke down and I cried. I remembered the moment where Amber was in my face telling me that I was faking throwing up blood when I was literally throwing up blood. I would have died.
Wow.
It got to a point I couldn't talk, I couldn't do anything, and I just had to submit to taking these pills every day because I was forced to. I would be physically, mentally abused if I didn't. And so my aunt, she took me for my birthday, my Aunt Robin. She just died of cancer last year. She was taking me for a visit and I had a seizure in front of her. It was my first seizure ever. And I couldn't feel my legs. My legs were just shaking. Like it felt like worms on the ground. She thought I was faking it and I wasn't. Yeah. And she was like, "Do you just want to stay here? Do you not want to go?" And I was like, "No, please get me out of here. Anywhere but here. Anywhere but here." I don't remember anything. I fainted in the restaurant. They had to like carry me and bathe me as like a teen girl. But she drew my lithium levels and submitted them to her work and saved my life. I told her what happened. She was the only one that would listen. And my grandma was coming, the neighborhood's party owner. She came and visited me. They all like came and it's so sad because I didn't have a voice as a child. Like I needed a mom as my voice, and I essentially didn't have a mom to be my voice. And so that was hard, you know, and I couldn't find that voice for myself. I couldn't even speak for myself. That's why I was in that position. I had a strong voice and she wanted to shut me up. My aunt threatened to sue her. Take her off these meds. She's only allowed on these meds or I'm going to sue you. And ironically, I was the first person to graduate that program in 2 years. And it was supposed to be an 8-month program.
The beautiful thing is that you're talking about it right now.
Yeah. Give me 1 sec.
Okay.
Give me 1 sec. All right.
You good?
Yeah. Okay. So, see this? It's a coin. It says White Cherry, Youth Health Associates, and freedom.
Yo, that's dope. Let me see.
So this is what I worked so hard for all these years, right? I worked for my freedom. Legit, it says freedom on that coin.
That's fucking dope.
And I just realized this like just recently, like the other day, you know? She humiliated me every day on a daily basis as punishment.
This sounds like a foster home of hell, dude. God damn.
For speaking up about
what you were going through.
What I was going through, right? Yeah. But after that, I feel like I blocked off all that trauma really until recently. Like I shoved it under the carpet, and not until I started like meditating all this time. Like memories will come up and certain things will trigger certain memories, you know? And then I have to remember that trauma, then I have to deal with that trauma, then I have to go meditate through that trauma, you know?
Yeah. I feel like that affected you in a way with any relationship you have now, because it's hard to trust. People that are supposed to take care of you didn't take care of you. You've been through so much. What does Bree do to get away?
I am a mountain girl. I am a Utah girl. I would love my hikes.
You gotta have the hikes.
I like to travel. I'm an adventure girl. I like to meditate and go to yoga, and I like to be really active. I like to do all sorts of things. Another thing that I love to do, like when I was a kid, was just like hang out with my friends, talk to my friends on the phone, get away with my friends. That's what I like to do in my adult life too. As much as I like my alone time and I like to spend so much time alone, which is crazy, but I also love it when people like friends will invite me out and like to do something, and learning from people and sharing your experiences and learning from their experiences and catching up and talking and like hanging out and helping each other get through whatever crappy thing happened that day is like super important, you know?
Yeah. If you could go back in time, 5-year-old Bree, what would you tell her to prepare for things? Because I feel like you could tell her to strap on and get ready because a lot of things are going to happen to you.
I don't think anyone could be prepared for this.
Nah. One piece of advice that you would tell her.
Maybe I would say don't get baptized.
Why is that?
Don't agree to get baptized until you're 18. You have so many sins to wash away when you're older. It doesn't matter that you're 8 years old washing away your sins.
It's a fact.
You're gonna get way more sins.
No, that's true. That's true. But sometimes we don't understand, because I got baptized in the Christian church when I was like 13. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. And then I get older. I'm like, oh, I didn't know I was going to do this. And what the fuck happened? Now I got to get another baptizing. It's not okay, you know? Bree.
Yeah.
It's been a lot. Thank you so much for being a part of the show.
Yes.
Wow, your story has really been like an eye-opener, you know, and a lot of things I had no idea about. What do you want to tell the people? Where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram, Strawberry Blondie, on TikTok. Yeah.
So
you can find me at the Mirror Salon in downtown Salt Lake. Come get your brows done. I do permanent makeup. I do like the hairline. I do medical fixes, skin conditions. I do lips, brows, eyeliner. I do student trainings. I have this beautiful special going on right now where I teach you 5 techniques, which is ombre brows, microblading, lips, eyeliner, and all 5 techniques in one, and I throw in free spray tans and 30 days free booth rent. And I teach you all 5 of these techniques plus the bonuses for $5,000, which normally like just a brow course is $5,000 for any training program. But I'm going to teach you so many techniques for my apprenticeship, and it's at your own pace. I designate at least 3 days of one-on-one studying or group studying where you sit down, we go through book work, and then you finish your own apprenticeship at your own pace. And yeah.
Hell yeah. Guys, you could have been anywhere else in the world, but you're right here with us right now. At where?
Amira.
Amira Salon, right?
Yes.
Amira Salon.
I feel like this has been a blessing for me. I've been really scared to do something like this. So I really appreciate you helping me get through this and finally like cracking through and talking openly about my life.
I love that. That's what we're here. We're here to inspire people and to move forward, right? And like I always say, you guys know me. Stop cheating on your girl. Stop cheating on your girl. I feel like there's a lot of cheating going on right now, right? Especially in 2023, there's a lot of cheating going on.
Girls, you need to stop because like my body count is not that much. And I'm gonna not lie. Like lie, it's not that much. You just really need to be really careful that this person has genuine intentions for you before you just like share yourself in such a vulnerable way to someone, because essentially, yes, like you are supposed to wait like until marriage. Like they do that for a reason. But you know, some of us, like we just love so hard. We can't wait, and you know, whatever things happen, but at least make sure that you trust that person and they have good intentions for you. So
yeah, you know, stop it. You guys got to do better. Men and women, you got to do better for sure. But yeah, we're all going through something. I'm going through something. Bree's going through something. You're going through something. But there's always somebody out there who's
going through something worse.
Exactly. Take care of each other, you know, be nice to each other and just do better. But I believe in people, and I know we're going to move forward, and somehow all of this shit's going to get better.
But just remember to have compassion for yourself as well. Like nobody is perfect. Make sure you have compassion, and it's okay. You can start again the next day. Like you can start over. Yeah. Just keep trying. It's important that you keep trying.
Love you guys. Have a good day, good night. I don't know where you're at. Wherever you're at. Love you guys. Yeah, take care. Peace out.